Beast. Who's heard of Mr. Beast? YouTuber, influencer in America. Just been offered very recently $1 billion for his business, for his YouTube channel, for some of his, he's got the Beast Burger, and Gary Vaynerchuk has just come out and said, and he turned it down, by the way. He turned down $1 billion for his YouTube channel and his brands, and that's what Gary Vee said. People are freaking out at $1 billion, but actually, I think 10 billion is not enough. All right, so this kind of leads us into our next guest, and we're going to talk about the creator economy and the influencer economy and the impact that that can have on a brand when it launches. So please welcome Richard and Rocky to the stage from notwoways. Okay, Rocky, we'll start with you. What's your name? Where'd you come from? Tell us a bit of the backstory.
Sure. Can you hear me? Yeah. All good. So my name is Rockwell Prinsley, also known as Rocky. I grew up in Amsterdam, and I came to the UK to study footwear. So I did a Cordwainer's footwear degree in the London College of Fashion for 4 years. And then after graduating, I went on to work for the Inditex Group, which is an umbrella company for Zara, Bershka, Pull&Bear, that kind of brand, fast fashion brand. And now I'm the creative director and co-founder of notwoways.
Amazing. Brilliant. Richard.
Hello, I'm Richard. I wish I was Irish because that's where all the money is. Unfortunately, I'm from over the water and I'm Welsh, so I'm very excited about the last guest, which is exciting for me. I am COO of notwoways. I founded a business in 2007, which is one of the first companies in the YouTube ecosystem for creators, an MCN, a multi-channel network. And I came across an 18-year-old kid who just dropped out of university. His name was Callum McGinley, and he's the third leg of the stool. He was here this morning, but he had to go do something this afternoon. So I've worked with Callum, and I've worked in the YouTube ecosystem for the best part of 15 years. And Callum and I have a couple of businesses that we run together, and notwoways is one of those, the spin-out ones, or one of the next ones, if you like, that comes out of his world.
Brilliant. So, Rocky, tell us about notwoways and what it does, how it does it.
Yeah, so I'll start at the beginning. I'll try to keep it brief. But I was still working for the Inditex Group at the time, and I worked my way up from an intern all the way to one of their head designers, focusing on collaborative projects and the online sales and that sorts. And then I was kind of fed up of fast fashion, and I was moving to a luxury brand. But then as I was moving to this brand, Callum reached out to me, and he just had some questions about footwear, basically. And I was like, of course, I'm happy to talk about footwear to anyone. I didn't really know it was Callum at the time. And then we met, and within 15 minutes, we knew, we connected and we clicked. We were both really ambitious. And one of my long-term dreams was to start a brand, and suddenly that became fast-forwarded probably 10 plus years. And we realized, why don't we just start something? But one of my initial focuses was that I wanted him to just learn about the industry first, because he knew nothing about footwear. So I was like, well, if it's not going to be with me, at least you'll come away having learned something about the industry. So for the beginning, we weren't even thinking about starting a brand. And then 2 months went by, 3 months went by, and we were like, we should just make this a thing. And I gave up the luxury opportunity, and I went to start a brand with Callum. So we founded, well, our first release was the 15th of August, 2020. And we sold 750 pairs in 63 seconds. And that was amazing. It was incredible. And then the second release was a couple of months later. We sold 2,000 pairs in just over 3 minutes. And yeah, so it's just been an incredible journey so far. And I'll talk quickly about the design process, I suppose. And I mean, we knew that because with Callum's influence and his fame, the biggest challenge was that we didn't want it to look like YouTube merch. And the only way to do that was kind of to generate this brand validation from the sneaker community, I suppose, because where we wanted to position our brand was very much in the sneaker community space, the hype culture, having some resale on our product. And if we were able to do that, people would start to distinguish it from YouTube merch. And I think we did just that, because now every single one of our releases is going for double to triple the resale value on the aftermarket. So yeah, to fast forward a little bit, we're now 12 releases in, scaling up every time, only through our website at the moment. The only retailer that's stocking our shoes at the moment is Harrods. Last month, we did our first ever pop-up, which was absolutely insane, for the first time after COVID, to meet our fans, and the queues were absolutely insane. And I even got a message from one of the security guys at 5 in the morning saying there's a guy camping outside of your store because he wants the shoes so bad, and we only open at 11. So this guy is crazy. Just, yeah, it's all a bit surreal, and I'm literally just living a dream right now.
That's amazing, incredible story, and well done. You know, it's very inspiring. Richard, you've watched the evolution of the kind of creator economy and first generation, second generation. Just give the audience a bit of an overview as to how it's evolved, where it is now, where it might go.
Yeah, okay. I think maybe for the brands in the room, there's an element that a creator-led brand is quite a scary thing, because our unfair advantage is that we have content and a marketing tool within the business. And I think what you're seeing at the moment with the Callum, if anybody with kids, sort of teenage kids, if you go home and say, Callux or the Sidemen, they'll get a sense of who it is that we're talking about. That's the second generation of YouTube talent, and they're just continuing. So, you'll probably all know of a guy called KSI. He's an amazing. He is and he will be one of the best entrepreneurs the UK will ever produce. So he's a music artist. He's got a drink that is called Prime that is doing amazingly well. It's nuts. So I think what you're seeing in this space is you'll get creators that will feel very passionate. We saw it with Grace, and you'd see it with Rocky, who's a creator in himself now, and Callum, is they really care about a category and a niche, and they'll do it themselves because it makes a lot of sense. And I think what you'll then start to see is, in the creator ecosystem anyway, you'll start to see equity marketing type deals, all the way down to influencer deals. And I think that presents a bit of an opportunity, I think, for D2C brands. As one of your soft metrics was creator influencer. And I think there is an opportunity, and there's an appetite from creators about being bound into companies that they care about. They might not love it like Callum loves sneakers and he'll do it himself. It might be a category that's slightly in the next layer or concentric circle out, but he'd like to be involved in it. And I think that's maybe where the next evolution of the creator economy will be creators starting their own business like notwoways, or Mr. Beast with his chocolate, or JJ with Drink Prime. But you'll start to see those, Night Media, Mr. Beast's management company, they've raised a fund, and they'll raise a fund and they'll invest in businesses that they think that they can add value to. What's that value? That value will be marketing driven. US probably is a year, 2 years ahead of us typically, I think. So you'll start to see that in the UK now. I think you'll start to see creators being involved in brands themselves, because the reality is you get a brand deal through. I manage all Callum's commercial opportunities, so brand deals, that sort of stuff. And you'll get a brand deal through. It'll be priced generally off a CPM, or for large creators, it's paid. There's no gifting really at that level. So there's paid for promotion. That's generally off a CPM type model. And as a result, the rates will be what works for the brand. And you'll start to see this category of brands where people will go, I don't want to promote that brand. I'll just go start one myself, or I'll get involved in it. So that's where I think maybe the interest lies for maybe some D2C brands.
Brilliant, really useful. So one more question. We talked about it yesterday, Rocky, in terms of creator is not a guarantee of success, right? Other people have tried to do footwear before that have had big followings. So talk a little bit about that, but then also why you think your brand has been successful.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question, actually, because it's quite easy to initially think, oh, Callum's got 5 million subscribers and then 1 million followers on every other platform, and that suddenly means it's instant sales. But like I was saying before, it's still about the brand validation and how can the brand exist if he wasn't going to be around, basically. For us, it was really important that if we were going to really bring the shoe to the saturated market, that we were going to do it the right way, no white labeling or just sticking a logo on something. Like, we're going to build this shoe from the ground up. And going from literally designing 5 shoes a day to having 3 or 4 months to just design this one shoe, it was just an incredible challenge and just really exciting, really, for me. And yeah, I think
that's probably key for us, is the quality of the product. We work very hard. We're very confident. We're young. We're only a couple of years in. We're off to a great start, and we'll see where we get to. But we've got a great product. And that's the focus. One of our challenges is to now build that brand and grow awareness. And we've got the seeds of it. We have a very good reception in the sneaker community, in the fashion community. We've clearly got a passionate audience around the brand, but it's all based on the product being, to Rocky's credit, an amazing designer. So that's where I think we're going to head towards.
And something we don't really talk about too much is our sustainability of our product, and we've deliberately chosen not to market it very openly, and we've chosen to make the shoes sustainable. So we have a lot of sustainable elements in our shoes, but it's not just about putting a sustainable material on it, it's also about the manufacturing process of that material. So one of the worst things in the footwear industry as a whole is the tanning process, and we've chosen to either hybrid tan or veg tan every single one of our shoes and leathers that we use, but we also use recycled fishing nets or recycled plastic bottle caps within the Phylon injection. So there's lots of things that go on behind the scenes that we don't necessarily talk about. And the reason for that is because we've realized that our industry, they don't necessarily care about sustainable product. And it's a shame, but we accept that. So we felt like our shoes should just be sustainable, and people are buying into sustainable product without necessarily knowing. And we're kind of just sending a message that it should be the norm, and then maybe one day we can talk about it if it becomes a strong topic. But I think that is one of the key foundations of our brand as well.
Really refreshing to hear that. So, no, it's amazing. And then final comment, I guess, when we speak to Callum earlier, the vision is to take on the high street, be in every footwear shop in the UK, and then global domination.
Yeah. If you talk to a lot of the big YouTubers, big creators, they don't see any end point. Their worlds just keep expanding. So if you take KSI, JJ, he's an award-winning, #1 music artist, and then he launches a drink brand. His favorite team is Arsenal. He's now the drink sponsor at Arsenal. There's no cap, and I guess that's the world. And Callum's the same. These guys are ambitious. He wants his shoes everywhere. And wherever that takes us is fun.
Brilliant. Give him a big round of applause. Thank you very much indeed.